Today I'm going to be showing you how to make a knitted knocker. These are the prosthetic breasts for mastectomy survivors, breast cancer survivors. And you can see that it's got a very nice shape on it. I did the one that had a nipple. Okay, it has a little dent in here. You make that with an I-cord. And then what's nice is you leave a long tail so that the stuffing can be adjusted. They can take the stuffing in and out, and when we give it to the person it's going to live with, they'll be able to adjust it exactly how they like. So we're going to be working with double pointed needles, and you have to use specific yarn that has been approved by knittedknockers.org. I'm going to be using Pima cotton, and it's very important that you save the labels of your yarn, because you'll be submitting the label with the actual knocker. Okay, so the first pattern tells us, and if it has a whole bunch of, on the pattern, gives you a whole bunch of different sizes that you can do. I'm going to demonstrate an Acup. Okay, so it says starting with a 20-inch tail. Okay, so you're going to leave a long tail. We're going to loosely cast on 15 stitches. And I'm going to do the long tail cast on. So we put the working yarn over the index finger, the tail over your thumb. Insert the needle from bottom to top and pull back to make a slingshot. Then you're going to move the tip of the needle up your thumb so it catches under here, and then it goes over the strand by your index finger, and then it comes back down through the loop on your thumb. You take your thumb out and you pull it. You don't want to pull it too tight, okay? And we're going to go ahead and we're going to do that until we have 15 stitches. So up, over, back down, up, over, back down. Okay, and then we got to count. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 14, and 15. Okay. So now all your 15 needles are on 15 stitches are on one needle, but we have to transfer them over to 3 needles. Okay, so you're going to scooch your stitches down towards the point that's opposite of where your yarn is. Okay, and then you're going to take another double pointed needle and you're going to move the stitches over as if you were purling. So we move from back to front, and we're going to put 5 stitches on. 3, 4, and 5. Now I like to scooch the stitches so that they are in the middle of your needle, so that way they don't accidentally fall off. And now we're going to pick up a 3rd needle and move 5 additional stitches. And we don't want to catch the yarn. Okay, and then again we're going to scooch them to the middle and scooch this guy to the middle. Now we have to join them, okay, so that they will create a circle. You want to make sure that you don't twist them. So I have all my little bumps on the bottom. Right now they're all facing up. So I'm just going to triangle and I'm going to rotate. Okay, so that my last needle, the empty needle, is on my left and the yarn attached is on my right. And again, I make sure that all my bumps are facing up, and I'm going to place needle number 3 on top of needle number 1. Okay, now for the first stitch only, you're going to grab your new needle and you're going to have the tail and the working yarn as one. And we insert, we're going to knit. So we grab our yarn and bring it through, and then it comes off. And now we're going to drop our tail, and we're just going to work with the knitting yarn, the regular yarn. After we do that first stitch on our first needle, I'm going to place a marker so that I know that is the first row. And now you're just going to go kind of drop these guys down, and then you're just going to knit to one stitch. We're going to knit to the last stitch, okay, so that there's one stitch remaining. And that one stitch we're going to knit front back, which means that we are going to go in and knit the stitch and bring it through, but do not take it off the needle. We're going to swing the right hand needle around to the back, insert it into the back stitch, and then we're going to wrap around again and take it off, and we've just created 2 stitches. So we do that again for both needles, the next 2 needles. Okay, so we go in, and again I place the needle that I'm not working, I push it down, okay, and then I go in and I knit, and we're going to knit to to the last stitch. And we're going to do a knit front back again. So we go in, we knit like normal, we bring it through, swing around to the back, insert again into that back stitch. We're going to wrap our yarn around again and bring it through. Okay, and until you get a couple rows, it's going to be a little bit awkward with the needles, especially if you've never used double points before. But I kind of stick my thumb through the opening, or my middle finger through the opening. The needle that is attached to the yarn I push down with my new needle, and then I just go in and knit. And again, we're going to the last stitch, and then we make our increase. So we're going to knit like normal, don't take it off, swing around to the back, insert into this back stitch, wrap around, and it comes off. And we've completed 1 row. So with double points, you empty the needle, and then the needle that you empty, you're going to knit with next. So the second row is you were going to start with a knit front back. And just for this first one, the strands will be doubled because we knit with the tail and the working yarn. So go into both, we wrap our yarn around, swing around to the back, go back in and off. And we move our marker. We're going to knit to the last stitch, and then we're going to do a knit front back again. Okay. Knit front back. And you always want to kind of scoot your stitches into the middle of the needle. Okay, and now we switch over. Again, we're going to do a knit front back. Knit to the last stitch. Do another knit front back. Our needle is empty, so we now use that needle to knit the next with, and you just kind of go round and round. So we're going to start with a knit front back. Come around the back, and we're going to knit to the last stitch and do another knit front back. And we are done with row 2. Okay, now this tail is going to be used on our back to close up the back. Okay, so you want to make sure the tail is long enough. So you're going to keep doing rows 1 and 2 until you get up to the right number of stitches per needle. So for an Acup, it says that I need 24 stitches on my needle for a total of 72 stitches. So I'm going to keep doing rows 1 and 2 until I have 24 stitches on this needle. Okay, if you do a B cup, you go up to 26. C would be 30, and so on. Okay, so all you're doing is you're increasing, and that gives us this shape over here to make 3 different sections. Okay, so you'll see this is where we started. These are our increases, and you just keep going until you get the right number of stitches. We'll come back for the next video, and I'll show you how to work the top part of our knitted knocker.